We understand that you feel like the romance in your relationship is deteriorating, and that can be extremely sad and frustrating. However, this is quite normal to happen in long-term relationships. Remember that your husband cares for you and loves you. Remember he is not showing signs that he is looking elsewhere, and we feel that he is extremely committed to you. It is unrealistic to think that your relationship will stay in its beginning stages. You are each growing and expanding yourselves as people, so in turn your relationship is going to grow and expand as well. You two are the most important people in each other's lives, and just because the initial butterflies and sparks may have faded, it does not mean that your relationship is dying or that you are experiencing empty love. Empty love is characterized as a long-term committed relationship with a high level of intimacy which lacks passion. In fact, the exact opposite is happening. You're becoming more and more comfortable with one another. You have learned so much about each other and from each other. These are characteristics that new relationships do not have. The novelty of relationships, which tend to keep it exciting, wear off, but often what is left over is a deep and committed friendship. The best way to keep that excitement is to introduce new things into your lives. You'll be adding in novelty when the previous fades away. Try experiencing something new every month, whether it be a class neither of you have taken before or something more simple like trying out a new restaurant. This will help keep the relationship alive and interesting. Miller notes that partners who continue to nag and push their partner to do more activities with them will often have the opposite desired effect. You may want to consider letting Liam be for a while. If he is used to you ranting about not appreciating you or not spending enough time with you, once you stop, you may be able to grab his interest again. Be careful not to act too distant though, because he may feel like you want out of the relationship. It is a tricky balancing act, but playing with him a little may entice him to chase after you, much like he probably did at the beginning of your relationship. According to Hess and Mickelson, the deprivation of affection can have dire consequences in a relationship. These included higher degrees of loneliness, depression, and stress combined with lower degrees of happiness, social support, and relational satisfaction. This can be a serious health concern for both you and your husband and should be addressed. The researchers found studies that support the idea that affectionate communication is linked to increased happiness and self-esteem, higher relational satisfaction, and the decreased fear of intimacy. For this reason alone, we want to suggest ways to increase the romance, passion, and levels of affection in your relationship. Truly expressing your appreciation to Liam every day and having him do the same for you will have positive effects on your relationship. People that feel validated by their partners are more likely to return the favor. Try surprising Liam with a little gift to remind him that you were thinking about him. Plan little weekend getaways. We know this may be hard because of your work schedules, but your relationship is at stake. Try your best to take time for one another. Remind yourselves why and how you fell in love in the first place. Furthermore, we would recommend looking into both of your attachment styles. They have a huge impact on how couples react to certain aspects of a relationship. Bartholomew's 1990 theory states that people with preoccupied attachment styles often present themselves wanting to be completely emotionally intimate with others, and they worry about others not valuing them as much as they do. Those with preoccupied attachment styles fear their loved ones may abandon them. We do not want to assume we understand who you are as a person, but we think it might be useful to look into the different attachment styles and figure out where you and Liam fall on the spectrum. You may be able to help each other out with your own particular needs you may not even have been aware of. Since you mentioned having concerns on how much sex you are having and it's not due to sexual dysfunction, we will not be providing sexual tips. However, we suggest scheduling sex if the only problem is not having the time for it. Despite sounding unromantic, scheduling makes it a priority. Much like an appointment, it will be an obligation, thus increasing the amount of sex. We hope this guide will help you and your husband rekindle your relationship. Best of luck and feel free to ask us any questions you may still have.
Created using Powtoon.